The woman learned that her husband had AIDS. Instead of panicking, she asked the doctor to keep it confidential. 3 months later, the doctor told her that her husband's condition was now beyond control. The woman instantly gave a satisfied smile. It turned out that in her previous life, the man's white moonlight died from AIDS, but he didn't believe that his white moonlight could contract such a disease. He thought it must have been because the woman didn't allow him to have children with his white moonlight. That's why his white moonlight died depressed and lonely. Then he pushed the woman's entire family off a mountaintop so they could accompany his white moonlight in death. Fortunately, the woman was reborn. She woke up again and found that she had been reborn a year earlier. This time, she decided that she would fulfill the man's desires. At this point, the man, feeling guilty, found the woman. He discussed with her the idea of having a child with his white moonlight. Without a second thought, the woman agreed. The man was in disbelief. He immediately assured her he would go for IVF and would not touch his white moonlight. However, before the child was born, he wanted to divorce the woman first. Unexpectedly, the woman readily agreed and immediately began preparing the divorce agreement. The man still couldn't believe it, so he asked the woman if she really didn't mind. The woman knew it was useless to stop him. She took the man's hand and kindly said that his white moonlight had once saved his life. She supported the man in doing this. The man didn't expect the woman to be so generous. He quickly praised her, saying she was wonderful, and he hugged her affectionately. Later, the man received news that his white moonlight's child's condition had worsened. He had to go to the hospital, and he turned to leave. At this moment, the man's sister approached the woman. She said she had found a good stock. She wanted the woman to give her $5 million to invest in it. In her previous life, the woman had been very good to the man's family. She bought the man's family a villa. She also bought his sister a separate house. But now, she decided to take revenge on the man's family. The woman knew that the stock would soon plummet, so she told her sister that she didn't have spare money. The sister immediately became unhappy. Seeing this, the woman suggested her sister sell her house. The sister said that wouldn't be enough. The woman said they could mortgage her parents' house. That would definitely raise the $5 million. The sister was still hesitant. The woman pretended to encourage her sister. The stock would definitely rise, and then they could buy a bigger house later. Soon, the sister decided to follow her advice and sell the house. At this point, one of the man's subordinates who was following him called the woman. Sure enough, the man had not gone to the hospital. Instead, he went to a hotel with his white moonlight and sent her a photo. Half a month later, the man found the woman and excitedly said that his white moonlight was pregnant. The woman quickly replied, "That's great news." At this point, the man said that his white moonlight had been unlucky recently. He wanted to hold a wedding for her to change her luck. The woman agreed as well, but then he surprisingly asked the woman for money for the wedding. The woman made an excuse that her company had a big project, so she couldn't take out the money. She suggested that his white moonlight should borrow the money first. Once the funds came back, she would pay her back. The man knew the woman loved him very much, so he believed her words. 2 months later, the doctor found the woman. She saw that the doctor's face looked very grim. She guessed that the man had been diagnosed with AIDS. She asked the doctor about the situation. The doctor replied that it was still in the early stages. It could be controlled. But the woman asked, if it wasn't controlled, how long would it take for the virus to break out? The doctor said, at most, within 3 months, the man would die. At this moment, a smile appeared on the woman's face. She told the doctor that she would make the man go for treatment, but asked the doctor to keep it a secret. 3 months quickly passed. The doctor found the woman again. He asked her whether she really made the man cooperate with the treatment. But the woman asked him, if they now used the best medicine on the man, couldn't it be cured? The doctor said, yes. The woman said, that's great. Now, let him know what regret really is. The woman then went to the man's wedding. She saw that the man had booked the entire hotel. She asked the secretary how much money the man had borrowed. The secretary replied that he had borrowed $4 million in total. At this point, the man and his white moonlight walked over. They questioned the woman about why she was there. The woman replied that it was her husband's wedding and she certainly couldn't be absent. The man scolded the woman, asking why she hadn't divorced him yet. The secretary directly took out the divorce agreement and handed it to him. The man held the divorce agreement and was shocked to see that not a single cent of property was given to him. He immediately asked the woman what this meant. The woman replied, you only earn $3,000 a month. Are you trying to take half of the property? The man firmly disagreed. The woman immediately slapped him. The woman then shouted at the man, you betrayed me during our marriage. Is there a problem with you leaving with nothing? The man hurriedly defended himself, saying he hadn't. He and his white moonlight had undergone IVF. The woman then took out the photo of the man and his white moonlight going to a hotel and slapped it onto his face. She then took out a pen and asked the man to sign. To her surprise, his white moonlight blocked her path. She said that the man shouldn't leave with nothing. At this moment, the man also realized that they had borrowed $2 million for the wedding. The woman had promised to give it to him, but the the woman said, "Why should I pay for your wedding?" Who would have thought that the man would say, "If you don't give me half of your property, I won't sign." And he even wanted to move into the villa with his white moonlight to disgust the woman. The woman didn't waste any more time. She said that if the man didn't sign, she would call the police. Seeing that the secretary was about to call the police, the man accepted the reality and reluctantly signed. He then threatened the woman that he would never reconcile with her in this life. The woman coldly smiled and said, "You've contracted AIDS. Who would want to reconcile with you?"